The masses are going to go through every ailment there is. You can't be worrying about that, because if we keep worrying about the trouble that the masses are in, we never cultivate anything among ourselves to get to the high level in which the masses going to be a part of. Because ultimately, all this shit got to be destroyed. This shit is over.
I am inevitable.
All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, and it do have to be destroyed so it can reset everything over again. All right, we live, y'all. Come on in, y'all. We gotta get into it. All right, we ain't been live in a minute, so we when we go live, we gotta get into it. Fox News over there caught slipping. They caught slipping with their pants down over there. Fox News. We gotta get into it, y'all. We gotta get into it. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
We been knew they've been doing this.
Come on in. But now it's like so blatant.
They ain't the only ones. They ain't the only ones. We don't know who really running this country. We don't know if these people are who they say they are.
Yes, indeed. Come on in, y'all. We gotta get into it. So Fox News had a guest on there, Navy SEALs guest, and he's on there wearing a mask. I mean, it's blatantly he's on there wearing a mask. So is this really the guy that they got on there, or is this someone in disguise? We got to get into it. So this was on Fox News yesterday. Come on in, y'all. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all like this video. Button. We gotta get into it because they doing a lot of fishy shit, and we gotta get into it. We gotta talk about these data centers as well. There's more coming out about these data centers. I mean, them data centers is contaminating the land like severe, as people are really speaking out and really protesting against these data centers. They don't want these data centers built in their area, and nobody wants these data centers built in these areas. So we gotta get into it. So this was before we get into that. We got to get into this right here. So this was on Fox News. Let me blow this up real quick. All right, so yesterday they had a former Navy SEAL on there by the name of Robert Howard. Well, during the interview, his neck you can see right there, actually, you can start seeing, before we even play the video, that you can see the separation in the neck right there. Blatant. You can see the separation in the neck area between,
the skin looks fake. The skin look fake, bro.
Right. So let's go ahead and get into it. So it's so Donald Trump's recent military operation in Iran. That's what they're talking about. So the clip instantly sparked the online conspiracy theories, with viewers debating whether the strange appearance was simply a camera distortion, makeup, lighting, or something far more bizarre. So let's get into it. Let's listen and let's watch and let's observe and let's pick it apart. Let's get it.
CENTCOM Deputy Commander, thanks for coming back, sir, and good morning to you. General Keane was with Dane and me yesterday. Let's begin with this analysis, and we'll get to you.
They're gonna do.
The president has exhibited a huge amount of patience here since the ceasefire on April 8th. And we've tried to work a deal with these guys, and it just doesn't seem possible. And where we are, we're on the cusp of going back into military operations. When we stopped, Bill and Dana, we had 2 weeks to go, a little less than 30% of the targets. Those targets remain, but we have better intelligence now after these 5-6 weeks. So that target list is expanded. It's considerably more comprehensive.
Admiral, I think the general is exactly right about the point he makes. And also, Iran has a vote in this as well. They've reconfigured a number of things, I am certain. What do you think the next best move is today?
Well, I agree with the general completely, with one caveat. Patience may be a little short of the real objective.
The neck area.
The president has time on his hands. He's controls the narrative, he controls the strike capabilities, and he knows that the policy he set with the blockade has had short-term and long-term effects on the regime and the people of Iran. So he's been very astute in leveraging that time. And so I don't see it as negotiations. It really is capitulation. The president's made it very clear.
I have a theory on this, y'all.
You will not have a nuclear weapon. You will not have the materials. Surrender that, and you will ensure that the Straits of Hormuz are open to free commerce. That you have no claims for surcharge or approving. Those two things are irreversibly, and the president knows he's in the position to demand those. So I think, in that sense, he controls the narrative and when he would strike. I'd also say that patience and the request from Saudi, Qatar, UAE may be more also religious at the moment. You're in the middle of Hajj. You have millions of Muslims in Saudi doing their annual Hajj at the end of this month, and that includes 30,000 Iranians. And so that plays into the calculus. Do you want to strike during Hajj, which is a very sacred Muslim month and activity, followed by Eid al-Adha? So both of those things are the time equation, and that's what the president controls most. So he can take his time, let the blockade and the economic sanctions continue to erode the economy of Iran, erode the power of the regime, enhance the hatred that all the Iranians in Iran have for the regime. So all those things work in his favor, and he can strike whenever he wants to.
Okay.
I have a theory on this. I have a theory on this about what's happening. There's a split in the military right now. Y'all have to understand this. Everybody's not on board of what America is doing around the world right now, especially teaming up with Israel. There's a lot of high-ranking people in the military who are not down with what Trump is doing with Iran, him invading Venezuela, all of that. They're not there. And I'm gonna tell you, my theory is I think they're taking out. I think they unaliving a lot of these high-ranking generals that don't agree with the agenda. Because you gotta think about it. A lot of these high-ranking generals been in the military for years, and sometimes the troops would be more loyal to their general than they even would the president, even if they, especially if they feel the same way. Because a lot of these people feel like it's treason. I believe they're killing them and replacing them. That's what I believe. I honestly believe that they're taking these individuals out and they're replacing them. And that's very dangerous right now. I'm going to tell y'all, America is about to collapse, y'all. America is about to collapse. And one thing I'm very suspicious about is that ballroom that Trump is building. That's not really a ballroom. That's some type of that's some type of doomsday bunker that he's building, attaching it to the White House. Just by the fact of what he equipping that so-called ballroom with. First of all, the White House got enough ballrooms. White House don't need no extra ballrooms. And the shit that he's installing into the ballroom, stations for the military to occupy it, hospitals, you know, all type. He's building a doomsday bunker, installing it in the White House in a time like this. What's happening is United States has been completely infiltrated and invaded. We're under invasion right now. And the thing is, it's starting off as a covert operation. Because what they're doing is they're basically crippling the United States, and especially its citizens, through the economy. They're using the economy as the first attack against us. Basically attacking our fuel, attacking our agriculture, attacking our infrastructure, and everything. America is about to collapse. This is like an emergency live stream. Y'all have to get this out because this is actually happening. That's why you see gas prices and everything up so high. And the thing is, you don't even know who we're being invaded by 100% because you don't even know if that's the actual real President Trump up there. A lot of people are saying like he's a completely different person just from the 2016 Trump and the Trump we got now. That might not even be the real Trump. You gotta understand, these masks are so realistic that they use these days, that they could do this with anybody. They could be putting anybody on that screen. I mean, they don't just got the mask though. They got the deep fake technology also. They got the artificial intelligence. They got deep fake. Deep fake is different than artificial intelligence. Deep fake is like you can literally change the exact person that's on the video to somebody else. And that's not even using AI. Deep fake is its own technology. Or they could just put somebody in front of everybody with a mask on.
Or they could just simply just AI is, because this kind of looks like they like AI-ish as well, because you can create a interactive AI interview based off a real person, and you see the background of course is fake. So and then in that area it could definitely be like an AI glitch, because you know that we work with the AI shit. We know how glitchy AI is when it comes to creating things. It's not 100% like accurate, so you might find little flaws within the AI that you create. So I'm thinking this is either AI. It could be someone actually.
Nah, but listen though, bro. They use a mixture of all of them.
Yeah.
Like they would do that with one broadcast. They would use a mixture of deep fake, AI, mask, CGI. They'd mix it all together just to keep the illusion going. But I'm telling y'all right now, America has been infiltrated 100%. And this is going to be an all-out invasion. And let me tell you, we can't let them get all them. We're going to talk about this more at the end of the stream, but we can't let them get these data centers up, because those data centers is going to be how they're going to release that robotic army against us. So we're going to talk about that more towards the end of the stream. So please stay tuned. But mark my words, America is about to collapse, and we are currently being invaded. Every state, all the way up, to the highest part of the government down to the local. We are being invaded right now. What they gonna do? They gonna make it to where we can't move about nowhere, because the gas prices and energy prices are going to keep going up. Then we gonna start seeing blackouts. Food is going to get so high, and from all the gas prices and fuel prices going up, most shelves are going to be empty by next year. Like completely empty, because what's going to happen is none of the food, most of the food that's being imported into the United States, and trust me, most of our food is imported, it's not even going to make it here because the fuel prices are so high. Y'all get what we saying? Like, so what's going to happen? We're going to have empty shelves and we ain't going to have no lights on. That right there is enough for them to begin their full-fledged invasion. Right now it's covert. Covert meaning they're doing it, but they're not open about it. They just doing little things and they blaming other stuff. They say, oh, it's the war in Iran that's causing the prices to go up. Some people saying it's the data centers, and it's a mixture of all of that. But they was gonna make sure those prices go up regardless. And it didn't matter who was in office. We could have voted, y'all, for y'all that say, oh, we should have voted for this or voted for that person. It don't matter who we would have voted for. It would have been the same result, because we're being invaded. All they're doing right now, that's why you see this little mask trick that they're doing. They're keeping us pacified right now. They're keeping us like, oh, it's just incompetent, administration in there. That's why the prices are up. That's why jobs are disappearing. But this is different than any time in America before. The prices have never been this high. Prices have never been this high. Energy costs have never been this high, and it's not stopping. It's going higher. It's going fast. It's going up faster. The gas is running out of our cars even faster. They did something to where all the gas that we're getting. I just filled up my damn tank yesterday. I filled up my tank yesterday, and the shit is already down to half. And I ain't even drive nowhere like that yesterday.
They watering the gas down.
I literally watched the needle. Burn out damn near half the tank. And I wasn't even on the road for 30 minutes, y'all. I'm sitting there watching this shit. I'm like, some gas stations are worse than others. But I'm telling you, this is an all-out invasion. And people are still asleep. People are still asleep at the wheel. And I'm telling you, by next year, America's going to be finished. We're going to have probably China and Israeli tanks on our streets. Like seriously, I don't. Well, we already know we were being invaded by Israel. We already know Israel owned that administration. But I also think they work deals out with China, and China just waiting for the United States to build those data centers so they can send their humanoid robots over here, mix with our humanoid robots, and next thing you know, we're gonna have an all-out war with some damn machines. Because they not going, because this is what's happening. The military, everybody in the military is not going to, commit treason. Because this is high treason. So that's why you see this general right here. I feel bad for his family because I think the original general is dead. This guy right here that's parading around as the general, that's not him, y'all. I'm gonna be honest. I think the original one is dead. Because there's a lot of people in the military that is. They're just like they on edge right now because they're like, this is like high treason in the open. This is high treason in the open. High treason. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of the people that we seeing on television might not even be the original them. It might not even be the original them. Obviously, this ain't that original general. This is someone wearing a mask, blatantly.
Yeah, it's obvious. Like you can see the neckline where the neckline actually the mask separate from the skin. It looks glitchy, and it also looks like a mat. Like that's like full out. Whatever it is, it's just not the actual person. It's either AI-ish or someone actually wearing a mask. Either or, it's people like, all right, well, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is the purpose of Fox News even doing this shit anyway? Like you said, maybe the real person is dead. They needed to get an expert on these opinions. Like they needed to get a former Navy SEAL expert on these opinions. With Trump doing with the Iran war, and they're just basically just using and testing, also beta testing. They also beta tested the technology. So why they would blatantly do this, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to explain themselves because you see a lot of people talking about this. So they're gonna come out with some whack story to justify what our eyes are seeing.
Who the dude they broke his arm from the military? He was actually protesting.
Yeah, that was some former military guy that was protesting against
Israel occupation of America.
Not just Israel occupation of America, but Israel America supporting Israel going into Iran. Yeah, the person was protesting
and that was a former high-ranking military official, and he's not agreeing with it.
Yeah, it was as a lot of the military, former military, soldiers that they're not going on. The ones that's not active right now not going along. Yeah, the veterans are not going along with any of it. None of it, because they know they've been active in previous wars, so they know what's going on. They know why, we're choosing to go into Iran. They've seen this pattern already. So, of course, they're going to speak out on it because they know where this is going. They know where this is heading. You have generals stepping down. You have high-ranking generals actually stepping down and getting out the way. They don't want no parts of this because they know where it's going. They know this is Operation Takeover. They know they want to build a new infrastructure. They know how the new infrastructure is going to enslave humanity even more with using this AI technology. They know this, so they don't want to go along with it. So we might think their plan is going through, but it really is. They facing a lot of backlash and a lot of resistance behind this new infrastructure, and they're desperate. I mean, this right here proves how desperate they are, that they would use this. They would use this right blatantly right in front of our eyes on Fox News.
Wake up, America! We are being invaded.
This is death. We already invaded already. I mean, this guy just went over there and begged China for money. Trump was talking all that China shit previous, and he went over there and took some billionaire friends over there to strike a deal. Now, you don't meet with China just to meet with China out of nowhere. No, you got to give up a piece of something if you're going over there asking them for $1 trillion. Yeah, you got to give up America. Yeah, you got to give up a piece of America. You got to sell the American people out for that type of deal. Yes.
Trump is a scumbag.
Yeah, so we get sold out to China even more. I mean, China already came over here and bought up a lot of farmland. And how we know they ain't building data centers over here? How we know China ain't over
there?
Well,
the whole point of them buying up the farmland is so they can use that land to build data centers on. Right. So yes, China would be building data centers on our land, and that's the thing. That's what Americans need to be worried about. Us building data centers and China building data centers, because those data centers are only going to be for surveillance and for them to unleash their robotic armies on us. Y'all don't understand how serious this is.
And do you know how that we could tell this government ain't for us? Because at the same time that they building these data centers, they made sure they passed the law for Bill Gates to create lab grown meat. That means that rules out the farming completely, and all the food will be coming from a laboratory. So that's perfect timing. Like, they lined this shit up and everything at a perfect timing. So we see what's going on. Like, we see clearly what's going on. Laboratory food, and data centers, farms being converted to data centers
in a surveillance state.
Right.
Basically, the only ones that's going to be left. Basically, they planning on the surveillance state to sort out the only people that's going to be alive after they starve us out by basically empty shelves and because you got to think about it. Like you said, once they get rid of most of the farmland, they're going to control the food 100%. And then we ain't even going to be able to get imported food in here from other countries because the gas prices, the fuel prices, oil is so high. So y'all, this is an active threat. Like, this is like, how we got to basically not just raise awareness, but we're going to be in a war. Like, everybody is not going to be down with this. And this is one of the times that we really going to be in a war. What we don't want is them accomplishing majority of these data centers, because we're going to end up being in a war with some damn robots. Yeah, that's the biggest fears right there. A bunch of drones and a bunch of humanoid robots basically kicking down your door.
Yeah, we can't let them control our food supply 100% either. Like, you will actually convert farmland into data centers and then try to force feed us food grown from the laboratory. They're trying to actually, this is 1984. If y'all watch the movie 1984, if you haven't, watch that movie 1984 and you'll get a clear eye. Yeah, 1984. There's a book,
Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator. There's a book called The Brave New World that came out in like the early 1900s. So if you start piecing all this shit together, you could see these plans been in the work for hundreds of years. So let's get into the data centers.
Before we do that, this is sponsored by nightandayherbals.com.
Yeah, let them know.
We got a deal right now to where you buy 2 smokable items, you get 1 for free. We got high quality CBD. We got natural herbal hair care and skincare products. So make sure y'all check us out at nightandayherbals.com. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen. It's also posted. It's going to be in the description of this video. That's nightandayherbals.com.
We have a QR code in the corner too for y'all.
Yeah, that's what I just told you. You can scan the QR code.
All right, let's get into this quick commercial.
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.
All right, we are back. Shout out to y'all that just bought products today, yesterday, and this week. Y'all products will be shipped out soon. We see y'all orders coming in, so we definitely will be shipping y'all out soon. So Make sure y'all stay tuned and look out for the y'all, y'all tracking and all that. So let's go ahead and get into it, bro. So they held a meeting over there at the house, right? So they brought some water samples from near the data centers, right? They brought some water samples in. This state representative brought some water samples in, and basically was warning them that, listen, we can't build these data centers. These data centers is causing the water to be contaminated. Not only water coming through the pipes, but also well water. We have people that have well water that's actually their underground water is being contaminated, which means these data centers are actually contaminating the whole land from underneath the surface as well. Not just on the surface, but underneath the surface. You understand? So,
and mind you, this water is very dangerous to drink.
It's really contaminated,
like,
bro.
It's bad. When we tell you it's contaminated to where if you drink it, your organs is going to shut down in your body.
Yeah. I got videos that I'm gonna pull up of people that actually been hospitalized that they, from drinking this contaminated water. And you mind you, this is all over America right now, because right now I'm telling you, water is gonna be a hot commodity, because the water they know that the water is being contaminated by these data centers, building these data centers. So water is going to be a hot commodity. They know that. So you have these water corporations that's actually storing up water. They got, millions and millions upon millions of gallons of water stashed up and reserved, because they know this water crisis is going to be an issue in America. Thank you, More Bay. Thank you for sending the gift. Shout out to y'all that been supporting the show, sending the gifts and all that. Definitely appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into this.
Assistant Administrator.
Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Kramer, you are in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency's Office of Water, correct?
Correct.
And in your written testimony, you communicated a value that I think we all appreciate, which is that a top priority for EPA is ensuring continued drinking water safety, right?
Correct.
And this is a bedrock foundational value of the EPA, and it's one of the big reasons why it exists.
All right.
I also appreciate your commitment to clean water specifically. In fact, you said it very well on a MAHA action call just last month that, quote, when I turn the tap on and when every American turns the tap on, there should be confidence in what's in your drinking water. And I think that's a value that we all share. I wanted to ask you, while I have you here, if you've been receiving complaints or if you are aware of folks reaching out about data center construction impact on drinking water quality.
I am aware.
You're aware. And what are some of the things that you're seeing and hearing?
So one of, I think, the biggest concerns is related to water availability, which is why we recently relaunched the Water Reuse Action Plan 2.0 to focus on ensuring that whether it's data centers or
anything about water quality, though?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Are there any complaints? I mean, are you observing any negative impacts on data center construction on water quality for Americans?
I don't think anything like that's been raised to my attention.
Okay. I would like to do so. A few weeks ago, while Congress was in recess, I visited Morgan County, Georgia, where Meta is building a massive data center campus. They are clear-cutting forests and began heavy construction, including explosive blasting. And families in the area are starting to see not only their water pressure decrease, to your point about water availability, but their appliances have all stopped working because it is decimating their water quality. They now rely on bottled water to drink and prepare meals, and nearby residents' water bills are expected to increase by 33%. In fact, I have a jar right here.
Look at that water, fam.
This is the current drinking water.
Bro, look at that water, bro. Ain't no way in the world they can even bathe, eat, drink this water or cook in it. They can't bathe. They can't even bathe in that water, bro. That's dangerous. You understand? This is what the data centers, this type of water is being produced from the data centers. This is what's coming out there in faucets. Right there. You see that muddy ass rusted water?
And it's literally destroying the land. It's destroying crops. It's
from
killing off
underneath the
bees.
surface. Yeah.
From beneath the surface. Y'all gotta understand how dangerous this is. They know this is going to basically cook our whole environment. Our environment is going to be done. Everything is going to be mechanical. Everything is going to be data centers and factories with robots patrolling everything.
And I'm gonna show you how
no access to this. And the noise pollution. And we ain't gonna have no access to food or water, y'all.
This listen, this is gonna cause a civil war. We know that shit, bro. And I think it's due for a civil war. The last civil war we had on this land was in the 1800s. All right. This is about that time again, because now we have a tyrannical government that's just selling us deeply into slavery. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like constant. Like violating us constantly. So yeah, this type of shit here is gonna cause a civil war. They know that.
Americans aren't mad
enough. That's why they trying to bring in military. They know what this shit is they know what's coming upon. They know what the outcome. They definitely the outcome, whatever the outcome may be, they definitely factor that in. So that's why they're putting military in place and putting all these different things in place, because they know this type of shit here gonna cause some type of blowback. Facts.
That's why they're making sure all the fuel. Hold on. That's why they're making sure the cost of gas and fuel go up. Because how Americans gonna fight wars when we don't have access to energy? Yeah. Think about it. Just think about it. We ain't even be able to be able to gas our cars up.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna have access to food because prices are gonna be so sky high, to the point where nobody can even afford to buy them anymore, which means empty shelves. How are we gonna fight a war when we hungry and thirsty and we in the dark? That's why they doing it covertly. The American government already started their war against us. And I'm telling you, Americans are sleeping.
A while ago.
They're sleeping at the wheel. Americans are done. Like, we're done. By next year, we're done, y'all. We're completely done.
Yep, let's continue. Make sure y'all liking this video and sharing this video too.
In Morgan County, Georgia, right after a data center was constructed, the Meta data center was constructed, the only difference between the clean water and this was that data center. I have another one as well. So this wasn't just one well. These wasn't just one family's situation. This is what the drinking water now looks like next to that data center.
Murky ass
and
water.
I think both of us can agree that neither one of these things are drinkable. These families now have to ship, in a rural area, have to ship water to their house in order to cook and bathe themselves.
That's
now, I'm curious if the EPA plans any investigations on how data centers are affecting water quality and availability. I understand what you said about the rule, but are there going to be any open investigations on this issue?
So as soon as I get back to the office, I will be looking into exactly what you've just talked about, because anywhere, whatever type of construction it is a priority to ensure that water quality standards established by EPA are being met. And so we'll be looking into that certainly.
Thank you.
The EPA already sold us out. That's why they're able to build those. That you got to realize, when they go in and they build these infrastructures, they already know what the outcome is going to be and what the effect going to be when they build these data centers. So you already know they factored into that. So that means the EPA already sold us out when they allowed the data center. Yeah, when they allowed the data center to be built, that means politicians was paid off. The governor of the state, the mayors, the whatever area, the politicians been paid off, the EPA's been paid off. So they already know what the outcome was going to be by building a data center, because it's already built. It's there. So we already been sold out already. That's why I know it's going to be a civil war, because we already been sold out, and they know that. They know what's coming behind this type of shit. Because
this is high treason.
Yeah. This is like what they're doing, they actually know that it's going to affect people's lives on a daily basis. So they gotta be prepared for blowback. First of all, humans is just not meant to be controlled this way. We're not. So there's going to definitely be a revolution when it comes to shit like this. Yes,
So
it's going to be man against
in black
machine.
neighborhoods.
It's going to be
Nah,
man
it's
against
bigger than
machine.
that.
It's going to be man against machine. Just like the movies y'all didn't watch, we didn't watch over the years with the Terminator and the Matrix. Those was commercials. We basically, program our subconscious to what's really going on. Yes, it's going to be man against machine. Yeah.
This is
And
bigger than just black neighborhoods. These
yeah.
data centers is going to affect the whole United States.
Right.
Like that, the black and white neighborhoods. That don't mean anything. Just like Democrat and Republican don't mean anything.
Yeah, that shit don't mean a thing when it comes to this type.
They don't care about black neighborhoods,
supersedes
white
that,
neighborhood, Asian neighborhoods. They're building these data centers is going to affect the whole entire environment, not just neighborhood by neighborhood.
No, but you gotta realize
state by state.
Yeah, because where these data centers are being built, it's all kinds of people that are these are people that been living on their properties, that have been owning their properties for years. So for decades. So now they know the difference between what they was producing, the water they was producing previous to these data centers being coming about. So they know it's the data centers because they never experienced this until the data centers was built. So they know they could pinpoint exactly what the issue is. Like there's no doubt about it. This is like they can actually pinpoint what the issue is with no doubt, with no shadow of a doubt. They definitely know it's the data center. So it's like, all right, now it's the people got to be riled up in them areas to actually go against the state. They got to go up against the governor of that state. Yeah, they got to go up all the way up to the goddamn president, Supreme Court, wherever the highest they got to go to get this shit removed. Or like we said, bro, what we discussed before we came online, we said if they don't remove them shits, people going to physically burn them shits down. That's just what's going to happen.
Well, we're going to have to, because you got to think about it. See, it's not about neighborhood to neighborhood. It's not about state to state. They are destroying the ecosystem. You understand that? Every living being on Earth need a healthy ecosystem to survive. What they're doing, they're killing off the natural ecosystem and trying to replace it with an artificial one, which will actually destroy humanity altogether. Black, white, Asian, I don't give a fuck what nationality you are. They destroying the ecosystem. This is way bigger, and it's bigger than everything. It's bigger than the wars or the oil prices and all that bullshit. If they destroy the ecosystem, they not only going to destroy us, they destroying themselves. So these people need to be taken out of power immediately, because they're right now, I think that's like some advanced mental illness / psychopath, sociopath behavior, because they don't even care if they're affected by it.
Yeah, right.
If they destroy our ecosystem with these data centers, we are every living thing on the planet is cooked.
Yeah, everybody cooked.
Yeah, it's bigger than anything. Like they're destroying the whole entire ecosystem that we depend on to even live on this planet.
And listen, before people let that happen, they gonna burn them shits down, bro.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah, people.
That's gonna have to happen.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen. If the government is not going to do anything about it, somebody have to.
Yeah.
Obviously, our government is 100% rogue. 100%
they took
rogue.
The payoff. They took the payoff already. Yeah. They actually took the payoff, and they actually invested in this technology. Not only took the payoff, but actually was able to invest. Let's continue though. Let's leave it. Let's continue. We got a lot more to cover, because I'm gonna actually pull up videos that's gonna let y'all hear what these shit sound like in the areas that they built. Bro, this shit will drive you nuts. If to live near a data center and hear that and constantly hear that fucking noise, you're gonna it's gonna freak. I'm telling you, bro, people gonna end up burning them shits down, bro. That's just what's gonna happen, because it's the pollution of the noise, the pollution of the land, and the surveillance behind it. Yeah, it's factoring all that. Let's continue though. Make sure you're liking this video and sharing it.
I sincerely appreciate that because I think this is of utmost importance, and we're seeing this happening across the country. I'd also like to ask about the administration's push to build more data centers by fast-tracking construction. Because the administration's been issuing executive orders to fast-track data center construction when we know that water quality is encountering major issues. Are there any mandates for data centers to do water quality testing prior to construction?
Good question.
Of like coming from a public water supply, drinking water supply sampling?
Wells, yeah.
I'm not aware of anything like that. However, it doesn't mean I'm just not aware of it. Might exist,
Yes,
but I'm not.
of course. You know, I think it's important that, you know, you as an agency official, we have to make sure we're doing these investigations. And then us on a congressional level, I'd like to note that I think it's of utmost importance that we also launch congressional investigations into this matter as well, so that we can partner with the EPA and ensure that the drinking water.
Get the goddamn EPA in there and grill them to death. Ask them how is he able to pass this shit, knowing that the water crisis this was going to cause a water crisis in the area. How y'all let this pass? How y'all let this slip through? Yeah, they need to be investigated, criminally investigated. If people is getting sick and dying from this shit, criminals. These are criminals at this point.
That's
bro.
a form of chemical biological warfare, and it's mass genocide.
And class action.
And they killing the environment. That's terrorism.
Yeah. They can sue
terrorism,
bro. They can sue now based off the fact that their water is contaminated. Like, bro, this is our livestock. Y'all
not only sue, but people need to be going to jail and getting tried for high treason.
Facts. Let's continue.
This country continues to be safe and accessible for the American people. So thank you, Administrator.
Thank you.
All right, now make sure y'all liking this video. Let's keep on. Let's tune into some more things involving these data centers, because these are people actually doing their journalistic work independently. You know, not tied to no news stations or none. These are people that's just turning on their camera, doing their investigation, turning on their camera, and letting y'all know what the hell's going on. So let me know if y'all can hear this. This is another person that's in the area of a data center that's reporting on it. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
The centers are wiping out farmers and
clear.
United States. It's not only the farmers and the ranchers who suffer during this, but the people who live in the city as well. There becomes competition.
Listen what he said. Not just where the city as well, because they have to use 300 and something million gallons of water a year. So this is sucking up water from the city, the inner city, the suburbs, or whatever area.
This is
whatever
crazy.
the state. It's draining water from the state completely. So y'all gotta understand
this is an emergency.
This supersedes past areas where blacks live, whites live. They need 300 and something million gallons of water a year for the cooling system for these data centers. That's mean it's sucking up all the water in the state, all of it. Let's continue.
Competition in power and water. The prices of your power, electricity is going to go up and rise along with the water as well. Who are going to be the ones that are able to afford this? The big tech companies using our power and our water. Now, during a time of drought, like we are in the Western United States this year, there is huge competition for water. Our water this year nearly doubled the price from what it was last year. Now, these farmers and ranchers are going to be in competition with these data centers fighting for water. The prices continue to rise. We're in a drought. Nobody has water anymore. These are the people that are actually growing the food for this country. Yet we want to put it into data and AI. Let me know your thoughts below. I would rather eat food than have data centers in our area.
Facts. And this is a farmer. This is a farmer right now, locally.
That's what it boils down to.
On his farm. Yeah. Trump is a bitch ass motherfucker, bro. We just know he a puppet. He don't run nothing. Ain't nothing he can do. And plus he just there to make money for him and his family anyway. He's trying to make as much money as he can before, you know, he's out of office, because he's trying to make money for his family. That's all he's concerned with. He literally said out his mouth. And he literally said out his mouth, I don't care about America's finance situation right now. He literally said that out of his mouth. But y'all Trump supporters love this guy. And y'all would still ride or die with this guy, even say he don't care about you struggling. He ain't gonna pay your bills. He ain't gonna supply y'all nothing. Nothing.
That's why he struck a deal with the That's why he struck a deal with the IRS that he's not able to be audited, or basically they can't come after him for taxes, because when he leave office, basically he's going to be able to cover up all the records of all the inside trading that he was doing as president. Right. And that's the big thing right there. So he's basically going to get away with all the inside trading that he was doing. You gotta understand, Trump is now worth like $6 or $7 billion, and that's from all the inside trading that he's been doing. Now the IRS ain't even gonna be able to audit him. Do you understand what's happening? So he was able to cover up his crimes before he even left office. So that's another person, high treason.
And not the fact that he got all these federal charges against him that he's so happened to brush under the rug, because he's he became the president of the United States, first president of the United States with 17 federal charges.
That was like 34. It was 34.
Like 34. That just showed you where we at far as a nation. That we will actually elect a president that has 30-something, federal charges against him. That just shows you where the mindset is at of this nation. So I believe, certain people just go have to deserve to get what they get, man. But I need to play this, because y'all need to hear what this shit sound like. This is somebody that's walking through the neighborhood where the data
ain't mad enough.
Built. This shit sound horrible. All right, let me play this. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
The proximity of the houses.
Yep.
That constant ringing. Noise. Y'all hear that shit?
And as of right now, I don't see the black smoke. But often, there are multiple black particles blowing in the air along with this sound.
That constant ringing, bro, I'd be crazy, bro.
Why is this allowed?
It do drive you crazy. That frequency?
Family homes, right next to other townhomes, and other townhomes here.
That sound is coming from a data center in Sterling, Virginia. A Harford County resident sent me this video after traveling there to see what residents are going through with these data centers right by their homes. Now, here in Harford County, many people are getting worried about the proposed data center supposed to go on Mountain Branch Golf Course in Joppa. Of course, with the zoning codes right now in Harford County, that won't happen. Hopefully not. And the county council has to accept the moratorium that is going to come out. This is not about anti-business. This is not about anti-tech. This is about nobody should be living by a building that is making humming noises constantly around the clock and causing black fumes to go through the air right by a residential house. On May 19th, the Harford County Council is voting on a moratorium. They want to hear from residents and everything. We have to say no to anything.
The proximity of the houses.
Yo, that constant high-pitched frequency in your ear, you gotta wake up, go to sleep to that, like every 24/7 around the clock. That is
the fact that they have to vote on whether that should be there or not is crazy.
Yeah, that means pockets is being greased.
Yeah, the fact that the people have to vote for that not to be in the area. They more aggressive about taking down freaking massage parlors and that type stuff than taking this type stuff down that's actually really destroying the society. Like, this stuff is literally polluting. What happened to the green movement? I thought our government and these people who was behind the data center, I thought they was about cleaning up the environment, climate change. I thought that's why we had to, get our cars emissions inspections and all that type of shit. But they gonna allow these data centers? That goes to show you how selective they are. They only get aggressive with something when it's a part of their agenda. Because to tell you the truth, if they really cared about the environment, they would never let nothing like these data centers ever be built anywhere.
No.
So that goes to show you they don't really care about us. All they want is these data centers. All they want is these data centers installed so they can basically use them to surveil us. Because them data centers, the regular people ain't going to get no benefit out of that. In fact, it's going to be the complete opposite. It's going to destroy our environment. We're not going to have access to clean food and water. We ain't going to have access to food at all. And they're going to use it for surveillance and to unleash a robotic army to do that surveillance on us. And artificial intelligence. They're going to weaponize all of that against us. So there's nothing good coming out of these data centers for anybody except for the establishment that's trying to control and manage the people.
Yeah, let me show you that too. Let me show y'all that. Cause these what they they got these, they gonna have these AI robots everywhere. And they need the data centers to process all the data that comes along with having these humanoid robots. This is I think these are Elon Musk ones that they're about to release. We don't need the sound. But yeah, if you see that, they already had them assembly lines of them.
Wow.
Remember AI what's the movie with Will Smith again?
iRobot.
iRobot, when they had to assembly those robots lined up, and it was like one of them had a conscience or some shit like that. But that's just showing you that these look at that. They got an assembly line of these things ready to be released.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And you're able to purchase these too for like $20,000.
So imagine all them armed with guns. Imagine all them armed with guns and they kick it down your door.
Yeah, the AI, they definitely train AI to become military. Yeah, military and law enforcement. So like we said, that right now they got a few of the tribot type of, not tribots, but what's them R2D2 looking ass robots that able to scan you and your information pop up. So that's what they want. They want instant
facial recognition.
Yeah, facial recognition. They want instant, processing going on. So all they have to do is scan you. If you're already in a database, all they have to do is scan you and pull up all your information, and they can find you right there on the spot, or they'll bring in, police to arrest you or whatever, hold you at point and bring in police to arrest you or whatever. Yeah, because they plan on building a whole new when we tell you a whole new infrastructure, this place is not even going to look the same about 2030, mid 2030s, 2040 and shit like that. Like, it's not even going to look the same.
Majority of people's going to be dead, bro. Majority of people's going to be dead because they killing off our farms, our ecosystem, and we ain't going to have access to clean drinking water.
Who the hell they gonna police then? If there's nobody to police, it's killing off everybody.
The little bit of the couple people that's gonna be left. Of course, there's always gonna be remnants.
Yeah, because you can't really kill off the whole population. That's impossible.
Well, they're gonna attempt to starve us out. That's the thing. They're gonna attempt to starve us out.
And the thing is, they've done this they've done this a million times over throughout existence. So we know this is not like the first time that this ever been done. This is like, a repeat. Everything moving in a 360 degree. This is nothing but another repeat in the cycle. So we've been here before, but we're just going through the cycle again. It's a constant cycle that we're going around and around in 360 degree cycle that we keep constantly going around and around in the human existence. So we've been here before, so we just
they're going to kill. They're going to kill everybody. Their goal is to get the numbers down to a more manageable number, so they be able to surveil it, because it's going to be hard surveilling 400 million people on the United States. It's going to be hard surveilling 6 billion people. So their goal is to get that number down globally to the millions and not billions. And country-wise, like the United States, we're 400 million. We're 400 million. They want to reduce us down to about 50 million. Y'all get what we saying? That's their goal. And they know they can't do that with all-out war, because that wouldn't even make sense. So what they're going to try to do is starve us out, contaminate the land, You know, make sure fuel prices go all the way up. Grocery stores are empty. And when they contaminate the land and grocery stores are empty, you can't even grow your own food. You can't grow food on land that's contaminated by data centers. Y'all get what we saying? They're destroying the ecosystem. They killing off the bees that pollinate the flowers so stuff can grow for the animals and us to consume. So they're destroying the whole entire ecosystem. That's their plan. That's how they trying to reduce 400 and something million Americans down to 20 to 50 million Americans, or even less than that, by starving us out. And it's working. We're on that trajectory. If we don't do something to stop this now, we're on that trajectory of basically being starved out.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the election need to be canceled out. I think we don't even need to have no election. I think we need to handle what the hell's in front of us now. To elect what? To do what? They're not gonna take care of the issues that needs to be taken care of. That's right in front of our faces. So I think we don't even need to have any election going on. And I know people be like, well, that'll force a dictatorship. No, if people simply say no to all this shit, they gotta move to the drum of the people, because we're the consumers. So if we say no to everything, then they don't have no choice. They can't make no moves if the people ain't going along with it. They only able to make these moves because of the consumers. So we start hurting these dickheads financially, because a standing in line and voting is not going to be beneficial to the person that's going in there and vote. It's not. We're not going to get no benefits from that at all. Only thing
because our whole government been sold out.
Yeah, we have to actually start hurting these people financially. Like, we have to cripple them financially, because they already crippling us financially by the moves that they making. High gas prices, high food prices, contaminated water, contaminated food. They already crippling us already. So why not do it right back?
There's no one to vote for when your whole entire government is 100% rogue.
Yeah,
Democrat or Republican, it don't matter. They're all rogue. They all been sold out. We're being occupied. So you can go in there and vote for whoever, no matter who you vote for, their agenda is still going to be there.
Yeah, right.
There's no politician that's against any of this.
Yeah, the policy doesn't change.
Right.
The policies and the agenda still stays in place, no matter what face no matter what face they have on the government. That it's the policy and the agenda remains the same.
Basically, we can't vote this away. We can't vote this problem away. This is beyond voting now. This problem that we're witnessing now is beyond voting. Our whole government have been sold out, Democrat or Republican. This is beyond vote. There's no politician that's going to come in office and save us. And just think about it. Even if there was an authentic politician who wanted to do things for American citizens, they would take them out.
Yeah, but the people, and that's the thing.
They would take that politician out.
Yeah, for that to happen, will actually have to be someone that the people appointed, like from a grassroots standpoint, and that person would have to be heavily protected.
And that wouldn't even be enough, because they got energy weapons that can get rid of people real quick.
And the thing
that's why it's going to take a collective of us.
And these people don't really hold no real power. They only have the power.
They don't.
They give us the illusion that they got the upper hand, because we're actually docile to what's going on. People are being put to sleep by constant constant propaganda that's being brought across our mainstream media, and they're trying to control the narrative on social media. They really don't have no power. I'm gonna be honest. They only have the power that the people give them. That's
suppressing channels like ours.
Yeah. Like we got over 200 something subscribers and got 55 people in there. We know they're not showing
200,000.
We know they're not sending the notifications out or showing this video to the people that
To
subscribe.
majority of our people, yeah, to
They're not.
majority of our subscribers are not, don't even know that we're on, or even know that we still even have a channel.
Yeah,
It's the way that they control the algorithm. Is the way that they're able to shadow ban any channel they want, and it's because this is their platform. The very people we talking about are the people who own this platform.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane that they would suppress. Well, we nobody gonna suppress this anyway. This doesn't fit the narrative that they're trying to push. So we will have to organically build upon this content that we're now. We have to be an organic. We have to build upon this type of content organically, because the algorithm is not going to push this. It's simply just not going to push it, and they're not going to show this video to all the subscribers. That's not going to happen. So this was actually will have to be. This content will actually have to be spread organically by y'all that's watching. Y'all will actually have to share these videos to whoever. Your social media, share it to family or friends. Just sharing it, wherever you can share it at, because this is not one of them algorithm-based videos. It's not.
And the thing is, I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all. All of us are in danger right now. Especially here in the United States. United States is going to get hit hard, the worst. First of all, the United States been dealing death and enslavement around the world for decades now. So United States is only going to get what's coming to it. And I guess that's why a lot of people are docile. A lot of people are docile. Maybe God is causing people to be docile. And it's like, well, America's about to get what it deserved, because we just sat back and let our country go around the world and oppress and commit mass genocide with our tax dollars. And we made justification for our favorite political party. Because that's all we do. That, like, collectively in America, all we do is just defend our whatever political party we're down with, no matter what they do. They could go commit, and both parties are guilty of mass genocide around the world. It don't matter. We've committed mass genocide under Republican administrations and under Democratic administrations. So let's just get that straight. Both Democratic and Republican administrations are guilty and have blood on their hands.
Yeah, because this is not a political matter as far as like Democrat, Republican. That's why this don't even need to be a public Republican and Democratic. This don't even need to be an issue when it comes to this type of situation that's happening. We need to go ahead and rule that shit out. This is a humanity issue.
And a spiritual one.
Yeah, it's spiritual warfare, right? Because what they're doing is actually affecting everybody. It don't even matter what label you are labeling yourself, whether you want to label whatever religious label or whatever political label or spiritual label you want to label. This is actually affecting people, the mass, affecting the masses, period. So yeah, my bad, y'all. I'm actually trying to look and see. I was trying to look something up real quick.
Man, if y'all haven't already, man, please like and share this video. Of course, YouTube algorithm is not going to push a video like this. So it's up to y'all to get this information out there. I mean, I see other channels covering this same information. Yeah. They're not covering it, as in depth as we are in some issues, and some channels are. So, but this information just needs to get out there. It really do, because it's not enough people talking about this, like how we're literally in America, how we being like covertly invaded right now. And most people think invasion is just always bombs and bullets, but no, invasion can start with them basically, manipulating the economy to the point where we can't afford anything. How you going to war against your government when you ain't even got food in your house? You ain't even got lights on. Yeah, you can't even fuel your car up to even get to the battle if there was a war, or Like you wouldn't even be able to do anything, and they know that. That's why they're controlling the economy to it. And most people right now is living off their savings. Most people borrowing against their 401k. You know, a lot of people can't even, like, you got a job to get to pay for your bills, but you can't even afford to get there because the gas is so high. It's like a lot of people is just they either losing money by having to pay those high gas prices, or they breaking even. Most people are not even making any money anymore. Like they're literally crippling us 100%. Like this is an all-out covert war against the American people from the United States government. The United States government is 100% rogue right now, rather Democrat or Republican. We cannot vote ourselves out of this anymore. There's no more voting when your whole entire government is corrupt. All the politicians have been compromised. Even they've been compromised by getting blackmailed, or they've been compromised by being bribed, or they was compromised just by being cowards because they're being threatened, or all of the above. But our whole entire government in the United States is rogue. They are actively attacking American citizens covertly. Gas prices is going to get higher. Electric prices is going to get higher. Just energy prices, all of that is going to, it's already high now, but it's going to get even higher. It's never going to drop back down. They're going to do it until all of our households are 100% crippled. And then that's when they're going to bring in the bombs and the bullets. And they are, I feel like they probably already paid off another country to invade us once they get us where they want us. A country like China. Once they cripple us as far as economy wise to where we can't even fuel our cars, we can't even stock our fridges with food anymore, we ain't got no lights on, we ain't got no heat in the wintertime, we ain't got no damn AC in the summertime because we can't afford nothing. That's how they're attacking us. That's the covert. That's the first form of attack that our compromised government is doing against us. That's what we're trying to get out. That's the message we're trying to get out there. And they got all types of different angles that they're attacking us from. All different. And then they go out there and they blame stuff like the war and all that, when they would have made sure these prices go up whether there's a war or not. They just using that just to pacify people because that's what we're used to hearing. Like, oh, when there's a war, of course, energy prices are going to go up. But it's bigger than that. The energy prices aren't just going up because of the war. They're actively out there price gouging. That's what's happening. They're price gouging and then they're hiding it under the banner of, oh, it's because we're at war. Because they're trying to cripple every United States citizens before they send their army in to invade. That's what they're doing. They're contaminating all of our land. If you see, a lot of farmers can't even grow food right now because the land is contaminated. You got to think about it. If they kill off our food supply and they cripple us as far as like energy costs, right there, they already won half the war. They already run. And once we're weak and they see that we hungry as shit, we ain't got no energy, we can't get from point A to point B, that's when they gonna send their people in there to finish the job. That's where we at right now. And all the proof is around us. Like, this is not even just no theory. The evidence is all around us, y'all. Just look at the prices of the grocery. We paying all that money for groceries that's poisoned anyway. And that's another thing. All the food and water that they giving us is already contaminated. Most of the food in the grocery store these days are fake, low quality. Most of the food don't even taste the same as how it tasted just in the 90s. We're eating completely different food now that don't nourish us. It gives most of us gut issues. It gives us autoimmune diseases. We constantly in and out of the doctors, and all they do is prescribe us more poisons on top of the poisons that we already consuming from the grocery store. Do you understand? Like, this is called bioterrorism. This is chemical, biological warfare, economic warfare, and psychological warfare, which is way more dangerous than bombs and bullets. That's way more dangerous than bombs and bullets because they're doing it covertly. You don't realize, see, if they was just invaded and they just started shooting down our doors and then people be like, oh, we gotta grab our arms and do this. But if they fly under the guise of, oh, we're just incompetent and we allowing all these things going because of incompetent, people will allow this stuff to go on because they don't realize that it's a direct attack. That's why I said that's even more dangerous than bombs and bullets. Bombs and bullets is right in your face, but they're doing this covertly. They like by poisoning our food supply and poisoning our water, they just make us think, oh, it's because, you know, politicians are corrupt or they're ignorant, they're dumb, you know, they're retarded. We like to use all these phrases, but really a lot of them are smart what they're doing because they actively invading us and they playing it off like they're just dumb. That's the psychological warfare part. And that's even more dangerous than the bombs and bullets, y'all.
We just been sold out completely.
We've been sold out 100%.
Sold out. That's what
100%.
happened. We've been sold out. Like I said, like for them to actually being able to, because they know the outcome. They know they have the information. They know the outcome behind building certain infrastructures. They know what it is. So for them to be able to build that and get past the EPA and get past certain zoning and all that type of ordeal, then we know people are being paid off. Like that's a fact. Once they launch an investigation, we know it's going to lead to people being paid off. But if they do a thorough investigation and actually go after the people they really need to go after, then all that stuff will be discovered. But it seems like there's a lot of cover up going on, and that's what's happening. A lot of things are being covered up. So for if they was to launch an investigation, then it would all be, it would be presented to us like they're actually doing something about it. But when they start digging deep and they find out what people are involved, they're not going to want to touch it. They're going to be like, oh, this person is involved. Well, they're not going to want to touch the investigation.
It's not even that. It's the people who's supposed to be investigating it are involved in it too. They're not going to investigate themselves. That's the thing. They're not going to dig deep because they don't have to dig deep. They know who's committing the crimes. It's them. The EPA, they know the EPA is not going to investigate themselves for allowing these corporations to poison us. The FDA ain't going to, if they taking payouts, you think they're going to perform an investigation on themselves? The public can never get that information. They always going to cover it up. They always going to cover it up because they're the ones that's committing the crimes. The people we sit back and vote for, depend on them to investigate crimes inside the government, are the very same people that's committing the crimes. They're not going to investigate themselves. That's why we telling y'all voting don't matter anymore. Like this is beyond Democrat or Republican. Our whole entire government is 100% rogue. They are now a terrorist organization. The United States government is literally a terrorist organization now. It's literally a terrorist organization.
Black Samurai, right? We're gonna have to start co-opting the food. For the food that is untouched, that's left. There's gonna have to be a co-op of food, like those who holding, heirloom seeds and things of that nature where stuff could actually be grown, naturally. I mean, there's going to have to be a certain, and then once again, like you said, there's going to have to be like some reserves going on, because if they're building data centers to contaminate the land and the water, that means people going to actually have to have their own dirt, clean, mineralized dirt and water reserves set to the side to even grow stuff like, to grow, their own stuff separate from, because the data centers is going to contaminate everything. So there will actually have to be some reserves going on. And co-ops, there's going to have to be food co-ops going on.
But check this though, bro. The land been contaminated before the data centers.
That's true.
That's why most of the farmers, like people don't know, most of our big farmers had to get dirt imported from Iran.
Yeah, facts.
Because our own soil over here in the United States, because it's been sprayed with so many chemicals, is a chemical called glyphosate that's been killing off all of our bees. Y'all remember when they was talking about how all the bees were just mysteriously dying? It was because it was a chemical called glyphosate that they actually sprayed a grain with, and that's actually attached to weed killer. And that's actually been contaminating all the farmland over here to the point where all the big farmers literally had to get the dirt shipped from Iran. And it's ironic that Trump would start a war with Iran. Think about it.
Yeah, right.
And we've been depending on them for our for fertilized dirt to grow crops over here, because our own dirt in the United States, they're having trouble growing food in our dirt because it's been contaminated. And this is even before the data centers. Because we've been under attack. The EPA, the FDA, and the USDA have not been doing their job in protecting us. In fact, they've been doing the complete opposite. They've been making sure the poisons get in the food. They create policies. Yup. They create policies. Yup. They create policies to make sure that these producers are using the poisons. Basically, they could shut you down if you're not using certain chemical poisons that's been banned around the world. That's how bad it is. And we're not paying attention as Americans. We're just getting sicker and sicker, fatter and fatter, and wasting away because all of our food and water supply have been poisoned. Like 90% of the food on our grocery store shelves are poisoned and contaminated. Over 10,000 chemicals that's banned in every other country in the world except for ours. And this is due to the help of the United States government. The United States government been allowing all of these toxic chemicals into our food, water, and air. So the EPA is not going to care about these data centers. In fact, the EPA is going to welcome them. The FDA is going to welcome all these agencies are going to welcome these data centers contaminating the land, because that's what they do. Yes. They're doing the complete opposite of what they're supposed to do. And remember, our tax dollars are going to the EPA. Our tax dollars go to the USDA. Our tax dollars go to the FDA, the EPA, all these different organizations that's supposed to be protecting us against the poisons. So you gotta understand how, like, where we at with this. These organizations, these government organizations, is literally accessories to biological warfare, chemical biological warfare. They're literally an accessory to that. Like, that's high treason, because technically this is mass genocide. Because all the diabetes and the autoimmune diseases and the cancers, all this stuff we experiencing. The obesity and the heart problems and the liver problems and the kidney problems. This is all in the resort of these chemicals that's banned around the world, but it's allowed in the United States. Do y'all understand what we're saying? So this is active chemical biological warfare by all administrations allowing this. All administrations, whether Democratic or Republican, is allowing these banned chemicals into our food supply and into our water supply. That's why we're trying to tell y'all that the United States government is literally a terrorist organization right now. They're committing bioterror, y'all.
Look, look at the data center. Look at all that black shit coming out that data center. Contaminate. Look, all that shit. That's what's contaminating the water and all that. Look at all that shit coming out of there. That shit don't make no sense. That shit is crazy. Shit is crazy. That shit ain't even safe to breathe in. Like, they tripping. There's some more of this shit. Look at the noise. Listen to that noise, bro. That's from a data center. Listen, it's half a mile away. You hear that shit?
Crazy, bro. That's crazy.
You have to hear this shit 24/7, bro. You hear that shit? Look, it's 1 a.m. in the morning.
Psychological warfare.
You hear that shit? 1 a.m. in the morning, they still hearing that same loud ass sound. 24/7 around the clock. Insane, bro. Insane.
By the way, this is why we hate data centers. The event was at the Energy Advancement and Innovation Center. Behind me are a bunch of generators. This is a fraction of what you would expect to see at a data center. Listen
to that one.
Do you hear this? Can you imagine living next to this? This is insane. And these are just a few of the generators. They're not even all on.
We in trouble.
So imagine living with this. This is why we need a moratorium on data centers. They don't do anything. They don't help us. By the way, this is why we hate.
Yo, insane, bro. This shit is insane.
In trouble.
We're actually looking at moving because of the noise. So it's one of those things where it's a lot of people in the neighborhood are complaining about it, and it was one of those things where it's like Microsoft never disclosed what their actual intentions were. And I've worked in data centers all my life, so I know what they sound like. This one's loud.
Damn, that shit loud.
We're actually looking at moving because of the noise. So it's one of those things where it's a lot of people in the neighborhood are complaining about it, and it was one of those things.
Yeah, that's the shit. Yeah, that's the shit people got dealt with.
Meta's new $27 billion.
Yeah, that's the shit people dealing with. Look at all that shit coming from that. Look at all that shit.
The real life consequences of AI that are happening right now. So the AI that you're using, your social media apps.
They're saying it's more safer to live by a goddamn power plant than it is a data center. And even a power plant really ain't that good to live by. But they saying it's more safe than a data center.
It doesn't exist in a cloud. It exists in a data center. What look like giant warehouses, but they really house all of these servers. One critical thing is the amount of electricity that these data centers require. Business Insider calculated as a range. On the low end, that's as much as the state of Ohio used in 2023, their entire electricity use. On the high end, it's about as much as Florida used in that same year. So let's talk about data centers' impact on local economies. All of these different cities across the country are racing to have data centers built in their areas. In Ohio, cities are making these deals with large companies like Amazon that are very profitable. What we found is that for every full-time, long-term job that's employed at a data center, Amazon might be saving as much as $1 million in taxes that they don't pay to the state or the cities. And what jobs do come from data centers are pretty much in their construction and wrap up long before your economic development deal is done. And data centers are also contributing in major ways to air and water pollution. Because of data centers skyrocketing electricity demand, a lot of utilities are starting to say, we can't meet this demand without relying more and more on fossil fuels. So this is causing more and more air pollution. The power generation for these data centers could contribute $5.7 to $9.2 billion of annual public health costs, in numbers of hundreds of thousands of additional asthma cases that can be wheezing, tightness of the chest, difficulty breathing, and can be hundreds of additional deaths each year. And what is it like living next to these giant data centers? So these residents are living right next to these industrial facilities that are running 24/7, and they're making this really ominous drone noise.
Oh, hell no.
So it's a constant noise of their cooling fan. Some residents told us that they can actually hear it inside their houses, and some had to sleep in the basement because they couldn't sleep. And how are data centers deepening the water crisis? So to power those data centers, you need a huge amount of electricity, and those servers get really hot, so you need something to cool them. Sometimes data centers are using water to cool their servers. They're finicky drinkers. They only really want to use drinking water. Data centers are competing directly with residents who are living in the desert where there's already not enough water to go around. Business Insider requested records of how much water every data center is using. We've got a lot of redacted records, and in 2 cases, cities actually sued us to prevent the release of those records. There's a lot of interest in the promise of AI, but the costs are already right here, and they're impacting us today. Let's talk about the real...
How you gonna sue them? Because the y'all redacted damn information being put out. How much water they use every year for the data.
There's really no such thing as a closed loop system.
Listen, man, we gonna leave y'all with that. I think it's enough. Y'all get this information out. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure
you gotta leave it with this one last.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
When they was when they asked Trump about do he think AI is going to replace all the jobs?
There we go. Yeah. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Message to American families who are scared by the rise of AI. They're worried that their kids are not going to be able to have jobs someday because AI will
I'll tell you, AI's been amazing because right now we have more jobs, more people working right now in the United States by far than we ever had before. And outside of the war, and I assumed the economy was going to go down, the stock market would go down 20-25%. It's actually up. The stock market is higher now than it was before I started the Iran situation. And on the Iran, I had no choice because they were going to have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to give them a nuclear weapon. But that's going to end soon, one way or the other.
What's the message to American families who are scared by the...
This guy's a liar.
A blatant liar.
Yeah, we know we can't depend on him to tell the truth.
Look how he blatantly lied. He said more Americans are employed now than they've ever been. That is completely the opposite. And he's talking like the economy is good. He's completely lying in our faces.
$40 trillion in debt. No economy is good when it's $40 trillion in debt.
$40 trillion in debt, and AI data centers is contaminating the world. And he's saying that AI has been great and made all these jobs. He completely lied right to our faces. That goes to show you how much of a scumbag this guy is. But it don't matter who was. Kamala could have been president. You still would get the same lies and the same agenda. Sleepy Joe could be. It don't matter who's president. That's what we're trying to get through to y'all. Republican or Democrat, they're all being controlled. Look at that.
39 trillion.
39 trillion.
275 billion, 345 million and counting. Yeah.
Do y'all understand how much of a con man
he
is and every other president? They're all con men.
So they would have to consolidate this debt and put it on the blockchain. They would have to. They would have to use digital crypto to for this debt. They would have to. What other option do they have?
And let me ask y'all, how come all the sacrifices that they claim that we have to do to keep the country safe, how come the politicians aren't never sacrificed? They don't make any sacrifices. Trump, what sacrifice by Trump entering this Iran war and doing what he's doing as far as with the economy? What sacrifices him and his family had to make?
Right.
Who have to make all the sacrifices when they make these decisions? The American people are the ones that always have to make the sacrifice. We always got to live way below our means. We always got to send our children off to die in these wars. Yeah. These politicians don't have to sacrifice anything, ever. That's what we're trying to get through to y'all. So next, before you go to that and vote or defend your favorite politician, just know they don't have to sacrifice anything. Most of them don't even pay taxes. Majority of these politicians don't pay no taxes because nobody's going to come after them. They never have to make no sacrifice. These all they do is sit on their ass, point their fingers, and make money from these corrupt corporations, inside trading, and stealing tax dollars to do whatever. That's all politicians do.
That's it.
Democrat or Republican. They don't never have to make any sacrifices. So remember that the next time you defend your favorite politician, they never have to make sacrifices.
But and the sacrifice that they make is based off the establishment. It ain't based off the people. They sacrificing themselves for the people that's in power, that's putting them in position to help steal from the people. Yep.
We're stuck with when they do all this wasteful government spending, the American taxpayer is stuck with the bill, not the politicians, not the corporations. The corporations that had these corporations, Amazon don't pay taxes. The owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, don't pay no taxes. Elon Musk don't pay no taxes. They make sure they keep all their money. They make sure they keep all their money, in stocks and all that, and they don't never pay no taxes on it.
Speaking of
they own everything through shell companies. And these shell companies just take all the money that they make and it goes offshore. They don't pay no taxes. That's what we're trying to tell y'all. These people don't have to make any sacrifices. We the ones that always have to make all the sacrifices when everything goes to shit.
And they do a lot of double speaking too. I want to pull this shit up before we get out of here. Jeff Bezos, since you brought up Jeff Bezos about the taxes, this is what his dumb ass said, right? And I know they gotta cater to the people and make it look like they for the people and all that, and that's why they say shit like this. But people, he said. So this is Bezos says there's no tax bottom half of earners. So why do you think he's waddling to the politics now? Let me play this for y'all real quick. Let me play this. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Nah, reshare that, John.
All right. So this is Jeff Bezos on his take on taxes, right? All right. All right. Let me refresh the page. All right. Let me play this.
We start by having the nurse in Queens not pay taxes. Why is somebody at all? Why is a nurse in Queens who makes $75,000 a year paying more than $1,000 a month in taxes? That's $1,000 a month that could help with rent or groceries or anything. And so, and by the way, do you know what that all adds up to? The bottom half of income earners in this country pay only 3% of the taxes. It's only 3%. We can find 3%. So we don't have, it's a small amount of money for the government, you know that. And really, and the more I thought about it, to me, it's kind of absurd that we're doing this. You know, we shouldn't be asking this nurse in Queens to send money to Washington. They should be sending her an apology. It really makes no sense. How about we start by having the nurse in Queens not pay taxes? Why is somebody at all? Why is some
nigga? First of all, paying these taxes, these federal taxes, are not even constitutional. First of all, it's not even constitutional for us to be even paying federal tax to a private federal entity anyway, banking entity anyway. We shouldn't be paying these taxes. It's not even constitutional. Nobody should be even going to jail for not paying taxes.
Right.
So right there, they already violated anyway. They already violated.
And where's our tax dollars going to? Israel?
No, we don't. And the thing is about it, we don't get no transparency slips at the end of the year where our tax dollars is going to. We don't get no transparency slips with that.
Nope.
They ain't giving us specifics of where our money is going. You know what I mean? When we paying taxes, they're not giving us a spreadsheet showing us where our money is actually going to. So there's no
politicians' pockets.
Yeah, there's no transparency, because if they was to do that, then we'll find out they're stealing.
Right.
So they're not going to be transparent with us about where our tax dollars is actually going.
Do y'all think this fair? In time of economic crisis, Americans have to live way below their means and barely make it, but majority of these politicians get to live luxurious.
And corporations.
That's what we trying to. Yeah, that's what we trying to tell y'all, that these politicians don't have to make any sacrifices. That's why they easily able to sell us out like this, and let the country collapse, because when the country collapses, they still get to live luxurious. The only ones that are suffering are the American citizens. Even though we going through this energy crisis and the food crisis and all this type of stuff, how Trump and his family living right now?
Right.
They still get to eat good.
Yeah,
they still get to fly
up.
private.
Yeah, ever since he got in office, his wealth bumped up a couple $1 billion.
So what sacrifices this? And that's the question y'all need to ask yourselves before y'all start defending these politicians. How come in the time of economic crisis, these politicians live the best? They live great.
Because they're able to do inside trading and manipulate the stock market. That's why they pay. And then a lot of them is invested in these corporations that, you know, when the wars and shit like that happen, a lot of these are investors in companies and contractors that, you know, they utilize their sources to go to war with, like the guns, the weapons, the food that the soldier need, like the you know, everything that has to do with going into a war. These people are already invested in, They already invested in that. That's why. So any type of crisis, though, whether it's like a virus outbreak or some type of war going on, any type of mass crisis like this, they're already heavily invested in it. That's why they're creating the crisis so they can manipulate the market, so they can steal the money. A lot of these crises are created so they can steal the money. That's why they do it. A lot of these wars be fake as shit. A lot of these outbreaks be created just so they can steal the money.
The
Like we
tax
said,
money, yup.
yeah, just like we said, Bill
The
Gates.
justified budget increase.
Yeah, like he was worth a certain amount, but then when COVID hit, that bumped his worth up, by the billions. So
Right.
that's what we saying. Like when you start to see these type of crises happen, like 9/11, COVID outbreaks, Ebola outbreaks, all these different outbreaks, and then war and shit like that. These are man-made crises, so they can steal the money.
Yep. And both sides are Republican and Democrat are both guilty of this. So it don't matter if you vote Democrat or Republican, the result is still the same. They get to live luxurious while they send the country into a Great Depression.
They already did the investigation. They know Iran don't have no nuclear weapons or plan to build any, but that's just a perfect boogeyman to create so they can steal the money from the people.
And to
You
be
know, they
honest
gotta
with you,
create
our government is more dangerous than Iran to us. Like we
Yeah.
more in threat of Americans are more threatened by their own government than they are Iran.
Exactly.
That's what's happening. These
'cause
data
they're the
centers
ones
are
that's
more
stealing
dangerous.
The data centers, them stealing the taxpayers' money. A lot of that is a threat to our own. That's a threat to our own. We don't give a shit about Iran. Iran is not a threat to American citizens. They're not.
United States government is a threat
All right,
to
yeah.
American
Our
citizens.
our government and our corporations are a threat to American citizens because they're affecting us daily on a day-to-day basis. We're being affected by that on a day-to-day basis.
By
Food,
contaminating our food and water?
yeah, contaminating the food and water. Not only that, the prices, the inflation.
Right.
So not only that, you're contaminating everything. You're making us sick, and you hiking up our medical.
And you making us pay for. We gotta work harder to pay for poison.
And they high price, and they going up on the prices on our insurance.
Yep.
On our medical insurance. So they're actually
all insurances are
they
going
actually quadruple dipping
times 10.
Yeah, they
quadruple dipping times 10, bro.
Right. See, they factor in all the outcomes, and then that's where they put their money based off. They move their money around based off the outcomes of everything, so they can calculate and factor in when certain things they do. All right, they be like, all right, this is going to make these portion of the people sick. All right, so we need to hike up their medical. We need to hike up the prices on their insurance.
Right.
Like this, they have mathematical people like Epstein come in. Not only the pedo shit, but they have these mathematical genius people come in
to
like
manipulate
Epstein
the market
and to factor in all this shit. Like he can calculate
genius con man.
Yeah, he can calculate all the outcomes of when they put certain things in place, and they know it's going to create some type of outcome. So they're able to factor in what's going to happen and put their money on that. So they into the pedophilia, and they bring in these Epstein type people to help steal, help steal from the people.
Well, that's how they celebrate drugs and pedophilia and partying,
right.
And the rituals and stuff. That's how they celebrate after they basically screw everybody.
Facts.
That's the way that they celebrate. That's how they spend their money. They spent, like, these politicians, they got such a surplus of money. All they living expenses, that's easy. That's already taken care of. Now they bored because they got access to everything. And when you constantly have access to everything, you got to think of creative ways to not be bored. And their creative ways to not be bored is basically satanic ritual abuse, pedophilia.
They basically they thrive off the suffering of the people too. That's another thing they like to do.
That's what
thrive
they do.
off these are entities that like to thrive off the suffering of people. It's like the show From that we watch.
Facts.
The entity that's like to thrive off the pain, and it gives them pleasure. It gives them pleasure to see other people in pain and suffering.
Or Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser, right? The movie Hellraiser. Yeah. So that's the type of shit we dealing with when it comes to these people.
Nobody can debate us with this neither. Y'all know, everybody listening right now, y'all know this the truth. Y'all, it's because it's all out in the open now. Nothing is hidden.
Right.
This is the Most High revealing this to everybody. Now he's like, all right, what y'all gonna do? Because God ain't gonna step in and do any. I see a lot of y'all who, have y'all faith and whatnot, think God is gonna step in and no. He leaves it up to the people.
Yeah,
he gave us dominion over this place. You remember the cowardly don't make it into heaven. So he's saying if we're gonna be cowards or not. Are we going to stand up against this, or are we just going to allow them to keep operating? This is a test. This is a test to the people. What we going to do about it? What we going to do about it? That's what this is. People say, Jesus will come back and God. No, Jesus and they're not going to protect you. And you gotta learn how to stand up against this wickedness and not just be complacent and lazy and not do nothing at all. Yeah, this is a test, y'all.
Yeah, it's a test to your own.
This is a test. This is a test. So what we all gonna do about it? We ain't mad enough. We just sitting back letting them take advantage of us like this. These people are openly wicked. From the Epstein stuff that went on that they still covered up, that gave us a glimpse of how wicked these individuals are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, if y'all wanna support what we doing here, man, we do have our own herbal shop. That's one of the ways, YouTube don't be trying to support channels like this, so we got to support our own. So we developed this herbal shop, high quality products. We've been in business for 7 years. We sell high quality CBD and other herbal products. So make sure y'all go through and check us out at nightandayherbals.com. Right now we got a discount. You buy 2 and get 1 free. And all of our CBD is grown on small Amish farms in Pennsylvania, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So very high quality CBD. Is not that crap that you get at, those smoke shops or those gas stations. This has been tested. First of all, our stuff is lab tested to make sure it don't have any contaminants in it. That's number 1. Number 2, our stuff is grown in season. We don't use grow houses with artificial lights and all of that. All of our CBD is grown in season, so it's very high quality. So in the CBD, if you know anything about CBD, it helps with all types of conditions. It helps with like insomnia, pain. It helps with relaxation, all types of different conditions that it helps with. And we've been in business for 7 years. We 5 stars on Google. You can check us at Night and Day Network LLC on Google, or you can look up nightandayherbals.com on Google, and you'll see we're 5 stars. And yeah, man, you can get to our website by either scanning the QR code that's on the screen if you're watching from a television, and we do have the link that's pinned to the top of the chat, and it's also going to be in the description box of this video. And we got other stuff. We got hair care products, skin care products. We got sea moss on there. If any of y'all know about sea moss, that fulfills all your mineral needs that you need daily, and it is some of the highest nutrition on the planet. So we got that on there. We got a whole bunch of other stuff on there. So if you want to support this channel, that's a great way of supporting this channel, is supporting our shop, nightandayherbals.com. And we want to thank all the people who have been buying products from us. We've been shipping all y'all stuff. A lot of y'all should already got y'all stuff, but we've been shipping a lot of y'all stuff out, and we really thankful that that you guys been supporting us all these years. A lot of y'all been supporting us for the whole 7 years we've been in business. 5 stars, you know, high quality. That's what we about. So again, that's nightandayherbals.com. And please like and share this video. Get this video out because it's a lot of good information in here for those of y'all who've been watching from the beginning of the stream till now. Y'all know we put a lot of good information that people need to hear right now. And YouTube do not push this type of content from us. So make sure you please share this video to all your friends, your family, on your social medias, and get this information out there because we are, as American citizens, we are under attack from our own government. We are 100% under attack. And it don't matter if there's Democrat or Republican running this country. They are both rogue and they're both actively after us. So please get this information out there.
Yep, and on that note, yeah, catch y'all on the next live stream. All right. Guess that's it for y'all. All right, that concludes this live stream. We up out of here.
Peace.
Peace.
I'm not even gonna lie. The joint pain I deal with every day, you slow me all the way down. But ever since I started using this right here, Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, everything changed. And within minutes, I feel the difference. Like real relief. Now I can clean my whole house without even thinking about the pain. As a nurse, I'm on my feet all day. And this right here helps me get through my entire shift. I can actually enjoy time with my kids now. Go outside, be active, without hurting the whole time. It feels good to just live again. Honestly, if it wasn't for Night and Day Pain Relief Balm, I don't think I'd have the quality of life I have right now.
Discomfort slows you down? Reach for natural relief. Night and Day Hemp's extra strength CBD pain relief balm melts into aching muscles, delivering warmth you can feel. Soothe your body naturally. Feel free to move again. Night and Day Hemp Balm melts away tension so you can enjoy every moment. Feel the difference fast. Real relief, real results. Order now at Night and Day Herbals.